Joseph Varghese here, MomentumTips.com. I'm excited today. We're going to talk to Dr. Nicole Mccauley. Dr. Mccauley is a neurobiological specialist. She's going to provide us some tips, particularly as it relates to the male brain and the female brain with regard to how we engage with the world and how we can better engage in the world. So, Dr. Mccauley, go for it. How do we differ?
Thank you. I'm so glad that you asked her for my perspective on this. I'm very excited to share that with you. We have our stereotypical male brain here, which is born with 6.5 times more gray matter in it, which makes that brain exceptional at surveying, finding problems so that they can be fixed, forgotten about, and moving on. That's what the male brain is excellent at. So good at one thing at a time, laser focused. The female brain was born with 10 times more white matter in it, and that brain is excellent at connections, and it will make connections even when there aren't connections to be made, just to satisfy that. So they're wonderful at connecting this, that, and the other thing, and they can process so many things at the same time, whereas the male brain is excellent at one thing at a time. So you will find as you're learning and as you're paying attention, as you're trying to remember something with a male brain, it's best to bring that information in auditorially. So listening to that while you're moving your body. As you move your body, that integrates it, that brings in enough input into the brain to be able to go, oh yeah, okay, now I can recall this later. That's what the male brain is excellent at. On the same token, though, when we're looking at the female brain, she needs quiet. She needs to focus, and she needs to be able to pay attention and look straight ahead because she's got all this chaos going on in her brain. So she could be talking to you or listening to you, and at the same time, she's also trying to remember, what she has to make for dinner, and she has to make sure and sign this permission slip for her child. She's all over the place because she can. She's like the equivalent of a computer processor in her brain, whereas that male brain is so laser focused, being back and forth on solving problems here, that he needs that stimulus, that same stimulus that she would have going on in her head. He needs that external stimulus to be able to remember. So in a relationship, whether it be a business relationship or primary relationship, father, son, mother, daughter, any of that, if we think about how we're relating to one another, so let's say I'm speaking with you about something, if you're not fidgeting, if you're not moving as I'm speaking to you, you're missing what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And I know that. But so many women will sit here and they'll look at that counterpart that's sitting across the table for them, and they'll have something to share and express, and they'll want to put it all out there. And in the meantime, he's up and out and moving around and looking at things because that's what he needs to do to engage. And she may be offended by that. Like, hey, come on, pay attention. And in the meantime, she just needs to unload all this information. And he's thinking in his mind, well, this is a problem to solve. I get to do this. And that's important because that's going to biologically change my chemistry and allow me to increase my testosterone. Because by finding a problem, fixing that problem, forgetting that problem, when he finally gets to sit down after accomplishing something, that's what brings that testosterone up and helps that. There's several other things you can do to bring that up too, but neurologically, that's what you're born to do. That's what your brain is meant to do. And it's phenomenal when we know that, when we can tap into that, how you can use that to your advantage and how you can use that in speaking with somebody else who may be of the opposite brain type of you, how to connect with that person. That's my tip of the day.